Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with our friend Helle Bank Jorgensen. Helle was born in Odense, Denmark, the same city as storyteller Hans Christian Andersen. So cool. Helle tells me that her loved ones are the reason that she does what she does. And besides her loved ones, Helle is passionate about the board of directors and executives' role in integrating ESG, climate, and sustainability into value creating business decisions. Hence the ESG Competent Board Certificate Program. Friends, you'll find her full bio attached. Helle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much, Kat. This is fantastic.
I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Are you ready for the questions?
I'm as ready as I can be.
Excellent. I think we touched upon it in the introduction a little bit about why you do what you do. Can you expand a little bit more and maybe some other thoughts as well?
Well, I mean, as you said, I help board members, I help executives become what's called ESG competent. And you said environment, social governance. Basically, I help them be better leaders, better stewards of their corporations, and frankly, also perhaps the surroundings that those corporations impact. And I guess that in turn, as I see it, and reason why is like it gives better both stakeholder and shareholder relation. It gets better reputation, better access to talent, as you will know all about, increasingly better access, as see, to finance, better innovation or more innovation, fewer lawsuits, more motivated employees. And for directors, I see more and more that it actually gives them better access to other board positions. So I guess your question is why? And I think, well, I do it because I saw a need. I've been blessed to work with many of the world's largest companies. I help them turn sustainability into strong financial results, and as I said before, also innovation. But I often found that when I was helping a company or was in a boardroom, the board reacted to ESG or sustainability as perhaps that was fine as long as it was a sustainability report where they saw the reputational value. But when we started to say, okay, embedded into the business functions, embedded into the DNA of the corporations, I think a lot looked at it like, is this really going to create real shareholder value? And perhaps a little bit of fear, because, frankly, there's been a lot of shareholders that have been looking at it and say, no, that's not giving any value. I mean, that might sound a little bit strong, but also strange right now, where we have BlackRock and many others saying that they will vote against board members where there's not a sustainability strategy in the corporation. But I mean, I think I realized what's probably obvious, that is that most board members, most of us, we have never actually received any training when it comes to sustainability, environmental, social impact, and I guess even less on how to govern, how to have the oversight on these issues. So I talked to, at that point, the chair of Unilever, Michael Tresco, but also the CEO of Unilever at that point, Paul Polman, some other CEOs from other pension funds and other global leaders, about the need for this professional development program for board directors, but also prospective board members. And so, God, I'm happy now. I mean, we have over 100 world-renowned leaders, board chairs, members, executives, investors, and other experts who are actually sharing their insight, their experience with those leaders that's joining the ESG Competent Board Certificate Program. So again, like the why is kind of like to bring that value. And I can tell you that the feedback we are getting from all of those that's now been through the program is, if I may say it myself, I'm very happy. it's everything from that. This give me the confidence to have the discussions both in the boardroom, but also with shareholders, investor relation conversations, other stakeholders, but also this, I heard kind of like transformative mindset. And I guess that's what me continue. I think, if I may, that all too many live in kind of like almost in an emergency driven reality, and what we give them during the program is the foresight. It is the tools to both be proactive, be better leaders, be stewards, and could provide that oversight over ESG that both shareholders and stakeholders are asking now. Sorry, that might be a long answer.
No, it's your why. It's really important that we answer it. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. And what about the top 3 things that you would like to share with the audience today?
That was a little bit difficult. I think I came kind of like I just said, stewardship matters. Lifelong learning is needed, and then the last is something that I put into a few of the articles I've written lately: cash and care, where kind of I'm saying that we can have all the cash in the world, but it's not really worth anything if we don't have the care. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy, of course, to talk a bit more about why also stewardship, etc.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Stewardship is important in all ways, isn't it? Otherwise, we're not doing our children or grandchildren any favors either.
Yeah, and what's interesting, we put this report out here end of last year in 2020, where we looked at the future boardroom competencies, and we basically surveyed global leaders and looked into what would stewardship in the 21st century look like. And it's fascinating to see that change at the moment. And this notion about stewardship and accountability and really understanding the future of good corporate governance. And I think that's what we're seeing, a huge change at the moment. I mean, we're seeing a lot of surveys at the moment as well saying board of directors do not have the competences when it comes to ESG. And, that's going back to why I'm doing what I'm doing. That is exactly to give them those competences.
I love it. I've watched you from afar for a long time, as you know, and I'm very impressed with your platform and the things that you do in our global community. And I'm very grateful for the work that you do. Thank you for your service, Helle.
Well, thank you.
What opportunity do you see on the horizon? Our new frontier, I'm calling it, versus the new normal. I don't think we're going to have a new normal. I think it's a new frontier. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, and I back to this fact that I think we all living in reality where we need to adapt so quickly. And if I can do anything in terms of getting, I don't think I can say, okay, this is predictable, but I think I can give the tools. I think I can get the insight, as I said, the foresight in order to make informed decisions. So, I mean, clearly, actually, to the day, I think perhaps it is tomorrow, it is 2 years since we in Davos at the World Economic Forum actually launched the Competent Boards movement. So we wanted to, again, help the board members gain this ESG insight. And there was a lot of people that said, no, why should board of directors do that? That should be the CEO, and like fully agree, CEO as well. But the board of directors, again, back to the stewards and the long-term strategic insight. I was just kind of like really wanted to focus on that. So long story short, we are now 2 years in, starting on our 5th cohort, over 100 global board members and executives and experts that are helping or sharing their insight, as I said before, in terms of really providing this stewardship in quickly changing world, I guess. So as I said, the fifth cohort is starting here in February. The plan is to give as many board members and executives as possible this insight, this foresight that I believe they need to provide the oversight and then leave the companies they serve better than they found them. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, long story short, I hope that we will see a 2021 where we get a lot of global leaders, local leaders, future leaders that get that, upgrading their ESG competences and really understanding the interrelation between all of these different areas. So I guess that's that. And then if I may, on a personal note, I'm not really sure if I dare say this, but I'm writing a book. I was also writing that book last year. So this is kind of like me saying, okay, I need to finalize that book here in 2021. Excellent.
What's the book? ESG related?
Oh, surprise. Yes. I mean, it's about the future of good corporate governance, and it is about stewardship. And I think we have so many good governance principles, but we probably need, and I've actually just written an article about that, is this time for a reset of what governance looks like and really embedding all of these new things that's hitting the board of directors. So when we discuss responsible use of data and cybersecurity, that's in my mind also an area that's need to be at the board level. Supply chain, human rights, all of these different climate we've been talking about for a while now, but still there's a lot of these areas that need to be embedded into the thinking, embedded into the transformation that many of these companies are going through, to really, really help. Actually, how do we put the map together? How do we have that relationships, and how do we really drive value, not only financial value, but value for all stakeholders, and not only short-term value, but also long-term value. And I think based on all of these interviews with over 100 of these global board members, etc., and my own 30 years experience, I believe that actually I have something to share. I hope.
Oh, yes, you do, Helle. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know your time is extremely precious. Thank you, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining us on Cat's Track.
Well, thank you so much for all you do.
Thanks, Helle. Everyone, check out Helle and all of her good work, obviously with the current initiatives that she's got with the ESG Competence Board, and then also her new book, which will be called?
Well, that is to be discovered.
I thought we could come up with it. No. Well,
I do have a few working titles, but let's see.
We will wait and see with anticipation. Thank you again for joining us on Cat's Track, and we'll see you next time.